Well, we've talked about how the documentation of everything is so important. And there are a number of things that have to be taken care of within the plan every year. It's a way for us to document what all is supposed to be done, who is responsible for it, who is taking ownership of those pieces so that we can make sure at the end of the year that everything has been taken care of.
Welcome to the Wise Fiduciary Podcast. I am Isaac Wood, one of your hosts from Fiduciary Wise. Whether you're a thought leader, service provider, CEO, or decision maker, this podcast is for you. We break down best practices, the services and solutions available to you, discuss the latest topics, and shake up the industry norms. Join us as we explore, challenge, and navigate the future of fiduciary responsibility together. For this season, we have been doing amazing, well-written, phenomenally acted skits that illustrate conversations that we at Fiduciary Wise have had or do have or plan to have, and then we will break them down. So I'm Isaac Wood. I'm an ERISA 402A specialist here at Fiduciary Wise, and today I will be playing the role of the financial advisor in our final skit of the season.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're almost done. I am Marta Hurst. I am a partner at Fiduciary Wise, and I will be playing the plan sponsor with my super cool plan sponsor glasses and cardigan.
Love it. And I'm Kate McBride, a 402A specialist at Fiduciary Wise and a member of the Department of Labor's ERISA Advisory Council, and I will be playing Fiduciary Wise.
And what a great job you both do in playing these roles. So to set the stage a little bit before we take off with this skit, so today we're going to be peeking in on an annual committee meeting that is well underway for the purposes of our skit. So we're towards the end of this committee meeting that Fiduciary Wise is holding with the plan sponsor and service providers. And so one of our favorite parts of these meetings is when we get to do our annual checklist. And so that's what we're going to take a peek into today. So please come join us. Are we ready? Ready. Lights, camera, action.
This has been a great meeting. We have heard from all the service providers and things are running smoothly in your plan. We are so glad everyone could join today.
It sure has, Kate. I'm feeling really good about where the plan is, just like you said I would.
Good. I have one last thing on our agenda today, and that is our annual checklist. Under ERISA, there are certain things that have to be taken care of within a plan every year. We've outlined those in the report provided. With multiple service providers in your plan, it's important that you know who's involved, taking care of which items. We document all that in this report and review it internally and then certify it annually.
Wow, this is great. Some of these look very familiar, like monitoring the core investments.
That's right, Marta. That's what my firm does is the 338. And the report from Fiduciary Wise shows that I have responsibility for that.
That makes sense. This is a really useful report. There are some things I don't recognize, though. I see something about 408B2. What's that?
That's the fee disclosures that service providers have to give you.
Marta, remember the document that I reviewed with you when you first started? It laid out my services, and then it also showed that I'm a planned fiduciary and included my fee.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Well, just like that one, all of your other service providers have something very similar that outlines their fees and the services that they provide to the plan.
That's right, Isaac and Marta. It's an important document to review so we know who is paying what fees, especially if those fees are being deducted from the plan.
Well, I know Isaac showed me his. I don't know about anybody else's.
Marta, if you take a look at our report, you'll notice that Fiduciary Wise is responsible for making sure we've got all the current disclosure. Well, Marta, if you look at that report, you'll notice that Fiduciary Wise is responsible for making sure we've got the current disclosures. And we shared that data with you for monitoring when we reviewed the benchmark report earlier in our meeting.
Oh, good. It looks like Fiduciary Wise is responsible for lots of things in this report.
They sure are. That's why I recommended them to you and your firm. I knew it would be a great value and provide some professional insights and experience.
And we appreciate your partnership, Isaac and Marta. We've completed this entire checklist for the plan year, including the final piece of the compliance year, signing the 5500 after checking it to make sure it's correct. Now that we've certified and completed everything, one of our partners signs off on this and certifies substantive prudence, and we keep that in your fiduciary file. With this complete, we can wrap up our meeting today. As always, we'll get our next meeting on the calendar, but we're happy to discuss anything that comes up beforehand. As a reminder, we'll send out meeting minutes and following today's call and document any action items. We are so grateful to be with you and to be a part of your plan.
And scene. Oh, what a scene it was. The annual checklist and your committee meeting. What a great performance. All right. So, team, Marta, Kate, why is the annual checklist so vitally important to a 401k ERISA plan?
Well, we've talked about how important this documenting substantive procedural prudence, the documentation of everything is so important. And there are a number of things that have to be taken care of within the plan every year. And sometimes there might be a little finger pointing about, well, I thought they did that, or I thought they did that. No, they were going to do that. And so it's a way for us to document what all is supposed to be done, who is responsible for it, who is kind of taking ownership of those pieces so that we can make sure at the end of the year that everything has been taken care of. So one other component of that, when a plan sponsor hires a 402A fiduciary, one of their duties that we cannot take away is their duty to monitor us. And so it provides a great way for them to review the work that Fiduciary Wise has done. It kind of serves as a report card of sorts for all that we've done throughout the year.
That's right. Right.
Yeah, we've seen, even in the news recently on some different fiduciary providers that maybe get in trouble for not actually providing value for the increased fees of their fiduciary services. And so, Marta, your point is a very pertinent one in today's world of, if you bring on Fiduciary Wise to be your 402A named fiduciary, or you bring on any other fiduciary partner to provide fiduciary services to your plan, it's very important that they're able to document for you what it is that they're doing for that added fee to the plan. And not just fiduciaries, but that is important for you to be able to document for all service providers what it is that they're doing. And so this is the reason that this annual checklist is so exciting for us at Fiduciary Wise, is that it is so important for the plan sponsors to have this information. But also it helps make sure that everything's getting done. Like how many roles and responsibilities can we get to in an annual checklist?
Yeah, I mean, this checklist is not short. The ERISA requirements are plentiful, and it depends on how you group them. I mean, I think we look at a grouping of around 70. If we parse them out, it would be quite a few more, but we kind of group them together, and it is really important that all of those things get done in a plan, because if any of them are not done, then the plan is basically incomplete and something might be dangling out there, and we don't like to do that. So Fiduciary Wise as the umbrella over the plan. So we don't do the investments, we don't do the TPA and record keeping part. We're not the investment advisor. We are the overall fiduciary that takes the place of the plan sponsor and takes those responsibilities from them, so they have a better run plan by folks who know what they're doing, and make sure that all of the fiduciaries in the plan are doing what they need to do, including Fiduciary Wise, the overall umbrella fiduciary for the plan, which is the way that it was intended when 401ks came to be way back in the late 70s and got popular in the early 80s. Anyway, that's sort of
Hey, I think you made an excellent point about just because Fiduciary Wise is responsible for making sure those things are getting done, it doesn't mean we are actually doing all of the things, right? So if you have a 338 investment fiduciary, we are not doing the work that they are doing. We're just making sure that it got done. There are some compliance pieces that have to be done. We don't do compliance here in our office, but we are making sure those things get done. Now, there are some things that we actually do, like signing the 5,500. That is a responsibility that we take on, and we actually do that part. But overall, just because, and this is the case whether a plan sponsor hires a 402 or not, those responsibilities still exist. If
Yes.
you have a 402, you can delegate some of those responsibilities, almost all of them. But if you don't have a 402, the plan sponsor is still responsible for making sure those things get done. So our documentation of that is just our way to track, hey, here's the things that need to be happening. And we have tried to do that in the most efficient way possible, because we don't want a list of 8 million things to do. But, let's figure out how we can well document the things that have to be done and make sure that those things get done throughout the year.
Hi, I'm Kate McBride with Fiduciary Wise. We know that managing retirement plans comes with a lot of responsibility, and having the right knowledge is crucial to making the best decisions for your plan and participants. That's why at Fiduciary Wise, we don't just provide fiduciary services, we're committed to educating those who manage retirement plans through resources like the Fiduciary Wise Brief. Our program delivers expert insights to help you navigate the complexities of ERISA, compliance, and the fiduciary risk management. If you're finding value in what you're hearing in this podcast and want to take your understanding to the next level, let's continue the conversation. Reach out to us at fiduciarywise.com/scheduling and learn how we can support you with the knowledge and tools you need to confidently manage your plans.
One of the most common occurrences in any conversation with the plan sponsor is misunderstanding of who's responsible for doing what. How many times have you sat with the plan sponsor and there's a TPA there, or there's an advisor there, or the record keeper has representation there, and the plan sponsor thinks that one of those service providers is doing something that they're not. They think that the annual testing is being done by the record keeper, or they think that the investments are being managed by the TPA. And so oftentimes they have like one person that they have a relationship with, and they just think that person is responsible and does it all. And so as a service provider to a plan, it's important to clarify for your client what it is that you're responsible for, so that you can make sure that they see all the value you're bringing to the plan. But also of equal importance is to clarify what you're not responsible for, so that they're not coming to you when there's issues in those areas, and it creates inefficiencies in the way the plan is serviced. So this annual checklist is of great value to the plan sponsor, because it's ultimately their responsibility to ensure that all of that's done. It's of great value to Fiduciary Wise, because it helps us fulfill our fiduciary duties as the named fiduciary on the plan. But it's also of great value to all the service providers on a plan, because it allows them to tell their story, to make sure that the complete value that they're bringing to the plan is communicated to that plan sponsor. It helps retention from that front, but it also helps them make sure that they're executing everything that they're responsible for. Sometimes, especially if retirement plans are not a focus of you for like a financial advisor, sometimes some of the responsibilities of servicing a plan can get lost because you get busy. Service providers get busy as well. So this really helps everybody perform at their best and tell their best story, so that at the end of the day, this plan is running as efficiently and optimally as it can be, to ERISA's highest standard under the law, which is for the best interest of the participant. So this is why we get excited to do this. Does anyone else do anything like this?
I am not aware of anybody else who does anything like this. I have seen some other attempts at annual checklists that maybe providers give to a plan sponsor as a tool, like, hey, here you go, try and do this by yourself. But I have not seen anybody do anything like we do here at Fiduciary Wise. And I feel like I've been doing a little bit of a disservice on our annual committee meetings, because I kind of breeze through it like, okay, here's your thing. And we did all the things and, on we go. And then as we were preparing for this episode, I'm like, man, this report is so meaningful. And like you said, Isaac, meaningful to everybody. So it's a great way for us to deliver to the employer what has happened all year, it's also a great way for us to be tracking it internally, and a great way for us to highlight our service providers and make sure everybody is getting everything taken care of. So even though, then we file it away in the fiduciary file, and we love our little fiduciary files. But it's so meaningful and important. It's a great way. I always talk about it, it's the way to tie the bow on the administration year. Everything happened all year. We signed the 5,500. We reviewed our annual checklist. We tied a bow on it. Done. Put it away.
And we did what we said we would. And we made sure everyone else did what they said they would.
Exactly.
But Kate, this is of vital importance, even more so now, because of this is season 3 of the Wise Fiduciary podcast. So we have to bring up the recent Supreme Court ruling in Cunningham versus Cornell, right? And so check out the links included in the episode notes to go see all the other material that we've produced on this land breaking. What is that word? It's groundbreaking, but it's
groundbreaking.
It's a very important case. All right. And so we produced a lot of content. Check it out. But the takeaways from that court case are the Supreme Court said, hey, when a participant brings litigation against a plan, it is the plan sponsor's responsibility to take on the burden of proof to prove that they've qualified for prohibited transaction exemptions. Because what they're saying is whenever you bring on a service provider that has a fee with them, that's a prohibited transaction. And so we talk about this checklist, this annual checklist is going through all the service providers, all the fiduciary responsibilities of the plan, and indicating which service providers are filling which roles, right? So that is a way for you to qualify for these prohibited transaction exemptions. It is against the rules of ERISA to have a fee applied to a plan. That's a prohibited transaction. And so you have to be able to qualify that fee is needed by the plan and that it's appropriate to the plan and that it is reasonable in nature. And so this is a great way to be able to prove that. And that's something that we're going to see a lot more cases hit the fan in today's world after that groundbreaking Supreme Court ruling, right? And so the importance of this, we've always thought it was cool, but it's now vitally important to a plan sponsor to not only have this annual checklist provided to them, but then to know where it is and to be able to access it as this landscape of 401k litigation is growing and getting more popular.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw this tool years ago, I've been around, I've been around for a long time. And this was one of the most exciting tools that I had seen in my working lifetime. I was so excited. I went right to John and Trevor, and I said, what is this? How did you do it? Blah, 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 and now it's copyrighted and all the rest. But this tool is unlike anything I had ever seen because it's not just a list. It actually talks about who's responsible for each piece of this, all the way down this long document. And so who's responsible for it? Who has oversight over it? Who, when is it done? Who did it? And this kind of delineation of responsibilities and tasks really could prevent a lot of lawsuits. It really could, because it's really clear who's responsible, who oversees it, who's taking part in it, but not the responsible party. It just really delineates all those responsibilities, because a lot of these lawsuits that come along are because, somebody said, well, you're supposed to do that. No, you're supposed to do that. And nobody's doing that.
And it's not just executed at the end of the year. Like, it's something that's tracked throughout the year. So there are, if there are deficiencies that are occurring, we're able to notice that and then deal with them throughout the year and not just get to the end. We aren't surprised when we look at it at the end of the year.
Right. These are items that are signed and dated, and by whom, all through the year. And not all of them have to be done every single year. Sometimes, they're done and then they are reviewed. And so, but but it's all there. It's in writing. It's, it goes
I
hand in
have to
hand with our
tell,
responsibility chart.
I got to tell y'all that we are. Can you tell I'm from Texas today? I have to tell y'all that our annual checklist is also a living, breathing document, just like all these other things in ERISA, just like policies and procedures. I feel like we should have a bingo card, and when we say things like exclusive benefit or policies and procedures, we can like send out,
Right.
who filled out their bingo card.
Restatement
Anyway,
of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, all the things. Anyway, given some of these, the Supreme Court ruling and some other things that are going on, we may be making a couple of tweaks to this annual list because we grow in the things that we learn and do. We are always keeping up with highest standard, bingo card. And we want to make sure that we continue to do that. And that means that we have to evolve and make some changes. So we are definitely keeping the whole concept because I do love that report and it is amazing. But we have thought of some things that we need to make sure that we add to that list every year. So I think that's important to know too. We don't, this isn't something, Kate mentioned it was developed a while ago, but it has been tweaked just a little bit over the years to make sure that we're doing all the things we need to be doing. And as professionals who have been in this industry for a long time, if we can find the need to make some tweaks, you know that there's still big stuff changing in our industry.
Hey, I'm Isaac Wood with Fiduciary Wise. Did you know that over 92% of fiduciary risk can fall directly on the shoulders of you as the plan sponsor? ERISA's complex regulations make it easy to overlook key responsibilities, leaving you exposed to costly penalties or even legal action. At Fiduciary Wise, we help you mitigate that risk by acting as a named fiduciary, taking on the majority of those responsibilities. From managing investments to ensuring regulatory compliance, we handle the heavy lifting so that you don't have to. Our team is dedicated to protecting you and your employees, reducing your exposure to liability, and giving you peace of mind. When you partner with Fiduciary Wise, you can focus on running your business, knowing that your retirement plan is in safe hands. Let's talk about how we can help shield you from fiduciary risk. You can schedule a meeting today at fiduciarywise.com/scheduling.
It changes all the time, and we take those changes into account in what we do for sure. We keep mentioning the latest Supreme Court case, so we should probably just give the real quick 2-sentence synopsis. The court case we're talking about that had an opinion given recently last month is called Cunningham versus Cornell University, and what happened there is that Cunningham, the plaintiff, brought a lawsuit saying things were not right with this plan, the fees were too high, investments that were supposed to be changed out because they weren't performing as expected were not changed out. And so this went from the lower courts to the middle courts to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled that, and part of the issue is when plans have a lawsuit, when the plaintiffs, which are usually plan participants, bring a lawsuit, they don't always have all the information on the plan because, the sponsor of the plan has that info. What the Supreme Court said is that in these lawsuits, when a lawsuit is brought, that you have to give that the company sponsoring the plan has to give the plaintiff, the one who brought the lawsuit, all the information that they need to figure out what's going on in the plan. Now, I think that I think that there may be more lawsuits because of this, but I also think there may be more information that goes to plan participants because of this. So that could, could mitigate some of the lawsuits if plan participants have all the information that they need and changes are made. Then maybe some of these things don't have to go to court. But I mean, there are
In the
plenty of
meantime, they're going to be going to court.
plenty of lawsuits for now. Anyway, it's an earth-shattering case because
Earth-shattering. That's the word I was looking
earth-shattering.
for.
Yeah, because it just turned everything on its side. It used to be hard for the people who were bringing these lawsuits to actually get the information that they need to, to prove what they suspected. Now they should be able to get that information, and not only can they get the information that they need, it will probably take less time for these lawsuits to go through the courts. I mean, it could take 10 years for them to go through the courts. So, that's a lot of lost retirement money for plan participants. And that's really what I care about in all this. So,
well, and of course, if you want to know more about that, we'll link. You did a great interview with Jim Watkins, and Isaac and I really had a lot of fun watching it, and we got a video of that too. So
I can't wait to see
we
what
hope
your
everybody
reaction
will
video
watch.
was.
I feel like by this point we've mentioned this Supreme Court ruling a few times. Hopefully everybody has already watched that multiple times and thinks it's as fun as we do.
Absolutely.
Well, and he's
Speaking of
actually
fun,
volunteered to come back, when one of the other cases that we think is coming soon comes
Good.
out, and we have some kind of information on that. So he has been a wonderful friend. He's one of my favorite people, and he's a tremendous attorney. And I mean, what he knows in his little fingers,
For sure.
I mean,
it was great to watch you and him nerd out to Fiduciary.
Yeah,
I really love that guy.
Fun of everybody, yeah. And so, as Kate mentioned, there'll be other cases that get ruled on, and we're here to rapidly react to all of them and continue to provide contact. But speaking of fun, this was a phenomenally fun season on the Wise Fiduciary podcast. It was great fun, Kate. Great fun, Marta. For us to all be co-hosting this together. But also thanks to you for tuning in to the Wise Fiduciary podcast. We would love to hear from your thoughts and answer your questions. So drop us a comment, send us a message, or you can schedule a meeting for us at fiduciarywise.com/scheduling. Don't forget to join us next time, which will be next season, for more insights and discussions. We'll see if we can keep doing skits because they have been a blast. But until then, see you in the next season.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. The Wise Fiduciary Podcast is a production of Fiduciary Wise, LLC, where retirement plan expertise meets real-world insights. Hosted by Marta Hurst, Kate McBride, and Isaac Wood, this show is written and produced by the Fiduciary Wise team. Our executive producer is Haley Blank. This episode was written by Marta Hurst. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as legal or investment advice. Always consult a qualified professional regarding your responsibilities as a plan sponsor or a fiduciary. Thanks for listening.